Do I got a surprise for you? What is up, Finn fans? If you can tell by the title, I just got done having one of the funniest and fun discussions I've had in a very long time with, yes, you read it right, the Big O Show. So that is going to be right after I'm going to do comment of the day first, but I'm telling you, this comment of the day is not going to be long, and then we're going to jump into the Big O Show because that discussion was absolutely fun. I will timestamp it if you don't want to hear about the Tua pass, the touchdown of 65 yards, because with the video came out, the Dolphins released the video of his touchdown pass of 65 yards, his pass to Fuller, and the touchdown pass to Shaheen, the no-looker. And I'm going to talk about the two touchdown passes. The Fuller one, I would have popped it up by now. You can see what it looks like. But first, I'm going to talk about the Shaheen pass, and I'll pop it up. And it's very reminiscent to me of the touchdown. I don't remember if it was a touchdown pass, but the pass to Mike Gesicki in the Kansas City Chiefs game. I will pop that up as well, where Tua rolls out to his left, and he looks off, and he's not even looking at his tight end. And then at the last minute, he drops it off to him, a no look. Those are the it factors that people say they don't see or they do see. That's what I see, is those type of plays, those types of little things here and there. And then I'll talk about the 65-yard touchdown pass, which I will pop up. Omar Kelly came out and said it was underthrown, but then he came back out and said it wasn't necessarily underthrown. But the receiver had to turn back a little bit. Albert Wilson's running. He did one of these, caught it, but the ball, and I'll show you, it hits him right here. He's running and he comes back and it hits him right here with the defender in front of him and a defender behind him. The ball drops in right here. Then people come out and said, it's a duck, it's a wobbler. It's not really a wobbler or a duck. Is it a perfect spiral through the air, whistling like a Nerf football? No. But is it a duck? No. The ball gets where it needs to, and it lands right where it needs to for a touchdown. People are being so overcritical of this pass. It makes me laugh. Why can't we just enjoy the fact that Tua connected with Albert Wilson, 65 yards in the air, for a touchdown with two defenders on him? Why can't we look at that and go, good job? Keep doing that. Because if you keep doing that, the offense is going to be great. Why do we have to tear it apart? And people ask me, what does Tua have to do to shut up the haters? And I say, he can't do anything. And this is a prime example of it. Now, I'm not a Tua near, and I'm not a Tua hater. I like to say I'm objective. I look at both sides of the coin, and I come to my own decision. It was a great pass. Did the receiver have to turn back a little bit? Yes. But he caught it. It hit him in his body, and it was a touchdown. But like I said, people have asked me, what does Tua need to do for the Tua haters to stop hating on him? And like I said, there's nothing. Because the fact that the man threw a 65-yard touchdown pass, and again, it was practice. Just like the two interceptions, it was practice. So, and people have to come out and say, and I call it, for people who have been with me for a minute, I call them the yeah buts. Tua threw a 65-yard touchdown pass in the air, two men on him. Fantastic to Albert Wilson. Yeah, but it was a wobbler. Yeah, but it was underthrown. Yeah, but he had no pressure in his face. Yeah, but he had to put his whole body into it. Yeah, but instead of just sitting back and being like, nice. If it happened in the game and we won off of that, yeah, but. So that's why a lot of times I say the Tua haters will never give the kid credit, because they always find something to poop on. I enjoyed it. Just sit back and enjoy it. He threw a touchdown, a 65-yard touchdown in the air. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Because if you don't, life's too short to sit there and be angry all the time. But that's what I have to say about that. That's comment of the day, because it was a big discussion on Twitter. So I made a comment of the day. Without further ado, though, I took about 5 minutes of your time up. Let's go to this fantastic conversation with the Big O Show. You guys can see I have the man, the myth, the legend, Big O on the show. How you doing, Big O?
I'm doing great, man. Can't complain. Looking forward to this season like I haven't looked forward to a Dolphin season in 25 years, man. So it's going to be, I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year. As I say, 2021 is the tune-up, 2022 is the title. So
There we
that's the
go.
way
There
it's
we
going
go. Now
to.
we're excited for this season, but it seems like the past couple days have been a real, I try not to curse, but shit show. It's been kind of a little bit of a shit show.
Listen, man, it's part of the game, and unfortunately, X is going the Minka route. And listen, man, I'll remind people. This is what I said on the show today. Um, Greer's the guy that drafted X.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know Noah can't play?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Noah turns into a heck of a player. Greer's the guy that drafted Minka. Minka turned into a hell of a player. How do you know Javon Holland's not the next guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They find Nick Needham out of the damn scrap heap. He hires a coach that has a terrific defensive mind. Since Greer took over along with Flores, our safeties can actually cover. Okay. I mean, listen, you guys have to, you know what it reminds me of? I'm big in crypto.
Okay.
And while all this FUD and panic was going on, I kept telling people, stay strong, don't sell, don't lose your money. It'll all bounce back. Yeah, if you bought Bitcoin at 42 and 48 and 50, you're panicking. Stay strong. It dips to 28. It's back up to over 40 now. It'll get to 50, 60, fine. What you do is you buy as it dips. And that's what I want you guys to do, that as your emotions are now dipping, I want you to buy into the reality that you actually have a front office now that knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
So if some idiot like Bill O'Brien calls you and wants to give you 4,000 picks for Tunsil, you say, here you go, bro. We'll go get Austin Jackson. And if somebody, and if Minka Fitzpatrick wants to be, an idiot, well, then you ship his ass off, and eventually you get a Javon Holland that hopefully steps in and does it and is very happy to be, the Swiss Army knife. So for me, listen, I remind everybody, I thought X was, it's funny. His math is kind of screwed up,
Mm-hmm.
because he says he's been on this deal for playing on it for 2 years. Last time I checked, his first year of that deal, he wasn't actually on the field. He was out with a knee injury and a domestic issue. And I will remind all of you, did they not get better in that first year all the way to the end of the year? Did they not go into the GOAT's yard and say, yo, you're not winning and you're not getting the bye week? And guess what? The dynasty's over. And they did it without X. And last year they won 10 games without Minka, and they won 10 games without Tunsil. Chill out, baby. Everything will work out. Maybe Noah comes in, becomes the kid, and they move this guy and they move him for a whole bunch of picks again. And they move a second rounder for a first and a couple of other picks. And before you know, you got another treasure trove of picks. Meanwhile, your team getting better. I had somebody actually have the balls to send me a tweet to say, how can Chris Greer negotiate a deal with X that he ends up being the second highest paid corner? And I go, so now we're going to start picking on the GM for actually being a good negotiator? Because the deal that a lot of people questioned a couple of years ago with X now becomes a bargain. He trades for Bernardrick McKinney, and he has him take a pay cut from $7 to $3 million. Folks, they actually have a real front office that knows what the hell they're doing. Chill out.
Yeah.
Don't buy the bud.
And that's why I'm so glad you came on, because in today's video, when I was breaking down training camp, 2 through 2 interceptions, and I kept saying, oh my God, the sky's falling. And then these players are on the pup, and oh my God, we're right. Take a deep breath. Everything's going to be fine.
Well,
especially with
Fluker and
Parker.
Well, you know what? I don't need them playing.
Mm-hmm.
They can be on the side. They only need a few reps to get ready for the season. I need Eichenberg playing, not Fluker.
Exactly.
So I'm glad. And if X wants to go the route of Le'Veon Bell, then he'll open up the door for Noah. Noah becomes an absolute key in all of this, because if the kid goes out there and starts playing well, all of a sudden people's emotions will calm down a little bit. Okay, well, we'll lose X, but dude, Noah's playing well. We'll be fine. We'll get over it. If Noah looks like he's completely lost and his head is on a swivel, then the panic will, the Bitcoin crash panic will step in.
And it's funny too, because X came out and he said that one of the reasons that kind of bothered him was the fact that we bring in Byron Jones, we draft Noah Igbenogany. Why are you doing that? This year was the first time in 4 years, besides your second year, you played a full season. Do you blame the Miami Dolphins organization for having security?
I mean, I think he hasn't noticed it's a passing league. You can't have enough corners, dude. You got a little. That's why. Remember, see that some of the things I used to get so pissed off with our Dolphins was you have safeties that can't freaking cover.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell do you have safeties for? Now you look at these guys, and under Flores, you must have cover skills, even if you're a strong safety in this team. And so now all of a sudden, they want to scoop up as many corners. They just got another corner. Maybe he's just training camp fodder, but who cares?
Right.
Load it up, man. You just never know who the next Nick Needham is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hey, the Dolphins found Lifford Hobley from the strike year. Okay, yes, I'm old enough for all of that. So you just never know when you're going to find talent. So you keep trying to unearth it from wherever you can. Never have the attitude that you can't find a player somewhere else, like the Portland Fire Dragons give us Oronde Gadsden. So you just never know. You just keep searching until you can find something. So that's what I like about these guys. They'll keep adding. And in a league like this, with a guy with the knee that he's had, drafting Noah was, I have some fun because, you want a quarterback that is an anticipatory thrower. In other words, he sees the break before the break. He knows where the receiver is going to drop down, and he lets it go way before. And by the time the receiver turns around, the ball is there. That's anticipation. Drew Brees has been great at that. I know Tua is actually going to be good at that because he did it in the Arizona game, actually. And so you look at it, well, guess what? Chris Greer is that guy. He's the anticipatory GM because he probably signed Byron and goes, we're going to give him a lot of money. X is a little difficult to deal with. Let me go get another corner just in case. He has Gesicki now on a contract that maybe he gives him a new deal, right? But he drafts Hunter. So then all of a sudden, even if you give Gesicki a new deal, probably won't be around more than 3 or 4 years. So when that one's expiring is when you got to give Hunter the new contract. You understand? And in a perfect world, Noah becomes the guy. You trade X for a bunch of players now or in the offseason coming up, either or, and then Noah elevates. You got him opposite of Byron. By the time you got to pay Noah, who's a first-round pick 4 years later, you say bye-bye to Byron, and you go draft another guy, and you pay Noah. And all of a sudden, you've got a cycle, and that's kind of what he's trying to do. He's trying to anticipate the problems down the line. Folks, the Dolphins have a real front office.
It's about time because we're so used to the Mike Wallace signings. We're so used to going out and spending $100 million on Ndamukong Suh. All these.
I don't want to fight with Joe Rose over Ndamukong Suh. Come on, let's go. I mean, Mr. Negative. No, I'm not Mr. Negative. It's just a stupid ass deal. And some people say, oh, go get X and trade him for Chandler Jones and all this kind of. Folks, that's the wrong front office. They're not going to be trading for other rich players and all that. They're going to want picks to draft their own to get them cheap the first 4 or 5 years so they can manage the cap. That's kind of what this whole thing is all about. Front office, man. They got one.
Yeah, and the fact that the Greer is doing certain things and getting certain value for players that were like, oh, he's not going to get anything for him. And all of a sudden, we go out and the trade for Shaheen. I remember people were laughing at the Dolphins. Why would you give up anything for Adam Shaheen? He's actually a pretty solid tight end to the point where he got a contract extension.
Yeah, no, he's turned into a nice the Bears had 4,000 tight ends. So it's like, they drafted a tight end every year. It was like really weird. And didn't they draft another tight end this year again? It's crazy that the Bears just keep drafting tight ends. So they had a plethora of them, and then Shaheen was a high pick, and they plucked him for nothing. Hey man, they what's it called? Greer bamboozled Belichick for Isaiah Ford. Hey, give me a low round pick. Yeah, sure. Here you go. He ends up cutting him, and they get him back, and they get a free pick. This never used to happen. The Dolphins were the team that always got bamboozled. We got the GM that bamboozles people. I mean, think about Bill O'Brien. Well, hey, I'll give you a first. Yeah, we really like our offensive tackle there, Bill. He's a franchise guy. We'll talk down the line. 2 days later, hey, I'll give you a first and a second. Bill, he's so important to our development. We really need him. We're flattered with that offer. Thank you very much. Week later, hey, we'll give you 2 firsts and a second rounder. Bill, we really like this player a lot. He's a guy that we think he's irreplaceable. Hang up the phone a half hour later. Hey, 2 firsts, a second, and we'll take Kenny Stills off of you. You twisted my arm. Here you go. I mean, they finally have somebody, man. They have somebody that gets it. They really do. It's different.
So talking about some moves and some trades, let's before we talk about camp, let's talk about the thing that we've been listening to for before draft. Deshaun Watson, that whole situation about going out and trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. For one, people want to add Xavier Howard to that trade. That doesn't make any, maybe it's just me, but that doesn't make any sense for the Texans to want to take on Xavier Howard when they're rebuilding. Why would you want to take, he's only going to be good for you.
Let's trade away a guy that's charged with sexual assault with another guy that actually had a domestic issue. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Now, wait a minute. Houston, who knows what the hell's going on in Houston?
Mm-hmm.
But I think whenever these guys make trades, it's going to be for picks. And as for the Deshaun Watson deal, there's no way in the world they're going to be the team giving up 4,000 picks for a player. They're the team that will get a player and make you give them 1,000 picks for the player. But this guy is about accumulating wealth. Okay. He's not about distributing wealth. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to give you something on its decline, and then he wants to get something that is going up. So they're confident in their drafting. You know what I mean? I think Raekwon Davis is going to be a guy that's going to take a really big turn this year. You know what I mean? Things like this, Van Ginkel, they feel they can find a guy. You know what I'm saying? That's who this team is. They're not going to go out there and mortgage the future, Mike Wallace and Ndamukong Suh, and start giving out stupid contracts like Josh Sitton and things like that. Those days are done, bro. They're not going to do that. They're going to want to get their own player. And as for Deshaun Watson, this is more, it's all clickbait, dude. That's all it is. It's Mike Florio trying to keep it alive. My boy Adam Beasley, love Adam Beasley to death, but he keeps it's like clubbing seals, dude. It's so easy for you to do that and then just get the shock reaction out of it. The Dolphins have shown zero proof that they're interested in Deshaun Watson. Now, would they inquire and say, "Hey, we'll give you a first and a 35th pick in the 18th round. We'll give them to you." If it's a low-hanging fruit like that, yeah, they'll steal something like that from somebody. But they're not going to be the team that's going to give up 5 high picks and players and all of that. They're committed to Tua. They've shown it. They got Charlie Fry, his quarterback's coach, from fresh out of high school. Kid knows him, or the man knows him, because I covered Charlie Fry's Senior Bowl game when he actually had a really good Senior Bowl and really boosted his stock. They got him 2 offensive coordinators. They're designing the offense for him. They got him his quick twitch players with Waddle and with Fuller. They're designing everything that is set for Tua. So why would they all of a sudden change everything now? It just makes zero sense at this point in time. Plus, they like the fact that they are not paying Tua right now. If you have to then acquire Watson, it then changes the dynamics of your team. And so they would rather get rid of Tunsil and not have to pay him that world of money right now, because they're not even paying their quarterback. So they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle by loading this team up with a bunch of young players that they're still in their first deals. I don't think they want to acquire the Chandler Jones of the world, and I certainly don't think they want to acquire the headache right now that is Deshaun. Look, you know what I said on my show also the other day? Are you guaranteed that Deshaun Watson won't ever do this again? Because I'm not. Because, I mean, if you're Deshaun Watson and you're not smart enough to know that, I really shouldn't be calling strange women over to my house or going somewhere to meet them, because I am famous, I am rich, and guess what? I've got a big old bullseye on my face. And if he was too freaking stupid to understand that, I can't help him. You know what I'm saying? So even if, let's say, he wasn't committing a crime, but he's still a sexual deviant, you have opened yourself up to be that. to be in this position like he is now. I don't feel sorry for this guy because how stupid can you be to keep calling, when you're an actor, a politician, a musician, whatever, you're a famous person, you got a lot to lose, man. You
Yeah.
can't, I hate to say it, but in today's world, you probably shouldn't be going out with strangers and normal people. You should be going out with somebody that has as much to lose. Like Russell Wilson finds Ciara
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
both have the same amount to lose because they both are famous. They both have money. That makes a lot of sense. And the beauty is with Tua, you're never going to be caught in any of those kind of situations because he's the Russell Wilson, the Drew Brees type, the Cal Ripken, the Tony Gwynn, the Derek Jeter. He's just one of those dudes that does everything the right way. And I think eventually he'll also prove to be one hell of a player.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Tua, today he had just 2 interceptions, but then he also had 2 very good touchdowns. One of them being a 65-yard bomb to Albert Wilson. What is your thoughts on Tua? Because there's the perception out there. There's people call them the Tuaneers, which I think is stupid, and then there's the other half that kind of they think that the 9-game sample size that's out there is enough to dictate and judge this kid. Me, on the other hand, I think this is the year you can dictate and judge the kid. But even next year is the year that you really should, give the kid some time. What's your thoughts on Tua? Like, where do you see him going, and what do you think of his last year? Because I don't think 2020 was such a horrible year. I think he had an okay year. It wasn't Justin Herbert, but come on, I think if Justin Herbert. If Justin Herbert never happened, he didn't have that year, I don't think we are sitting here having this conversation after 9 games about Tua. But like, what is your thoughts on Tua? Being that everyone's like got that microscope on him, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, let's the 2 scenarios are completely different. Okay, Tua wasn't the starter; the other kid was the starter. The offense wasn't designed for Tua; the offense was designed for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had very good weapons. Miami did not. Okay, and so all of a sudden you start comparing. Even their offensive line was better than Miami's last year overall. So he had everything better. Plus, he was healthy all off season. Even though he didn't have much of an off season, whenever he did, he was able to play football. This kid was rehabbing. Look, man, most of us would struggle to go to work after that hip surgery for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? This dude got back onto an NFL field and got slammed by Michael Brockers and got right back up again and said, yo, I'm here.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I was ever concerned about coming out of college with him is his injury history. I'm not worried about him, the player. I'm not worried about him, the person. I'm not worried about him, his football IQ. I'm not worried about the accuracy, the ball placement, the anticipatory throws. I'm not worried about any of that. He's going to adjust to all of that. And then this year, he was able to work on football in his body. So now you're going to see a stronger, faster, more agile Tua. All of a sudden, you're going to go, wow, his arm's stronger. No, it's not. His arm's not stronger. He was able to work on his damn body.
Yep.
And it comes from your core. And when they slice anybody had an operation out there that like when trauma goes to your body, it takes a while for you to recover. And this guy in less than a year was on an NFL field and threw more touchdowns and interceptions, won more games than he lost. And all the stuff was against him.
Yep.
This year, everything's with him. His offensive line has slightly more experience. His weapons are superior to what they were last year. I think Myles Gaskin will be a little better. They are a deeper running back core overall. I don't know if they have a great running back on there, but I also don't think they're going to go out there and spend all this kind of money on a running back when it's become the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports. So everything is set up. Now the offense is designed exactly for him. Chan Gailey, I think, was good, but he was also Fitz guy in the Jets, Fitz guys in Buffalo, Fitz guy here. So he was thinking all Fitz and designing everything Fitz. So it's not his fault that Tua didn't fit. You know what I'm saying? So overall, now I think everything's been set up for him. And I think now Tua will have more, here's the other overreaction. Well, I didn't know the playbook. What freaking rookie knows the whole playbook? Give me a break. And when you weren't starting and running all the mental reps, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I didn't just say guys, but ladies and gentlemen, do you know what mini camps are and preseason and training camp and all of that? Yeah, it's practice, but they're mental reps.
Yep.
And so he wasn't the number one guy with all those mental reps. So he didn't run that bow out with the tight end 27 times in the offseason. This year he ran it 27 times, and he ran the deep route with Fuller a bunch, and he ran the deep route with the other guy. And so he got his timing down now. Now he has an opportunity. He'll practice against two teams. He'll have the preseason. He'll have training camp. Now he gets to fine tune his football before he actually plays in the NFL, because he wasn't the starter. He was the clipboard holder. So now he should be more prepared to succeed physically and mentally overall. So for me, I am not worried at all about Tua, the football player. The only thing I worried about was injury. And dude, the guy came back not even 100%, took a beating at times and survived. Last year was set up for him to absolutely fail. And I hate to say it, and glad it didn't happen, but last year was set up for him to get injured again. Seriously.
Yeah.
It was all, and none of that happened. So for me, I think Tua had a hell of a year actually last year, because if you think of physically everything he had to overcome and mentally everything else, and then the lack of everything that was around him, I just think he was set up for failure last year. And overall, facing failure, he did pretty damn good at times and showed you that he's got the moxie to be a number one.
His first snap, not counting the Jets game, but his first snap against the Rams, Aaron Donald said, "Hello, welcome to the NFL," and drove him into the ground.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
Like a few plays later, he scrambles and gets another, like you said, and he wasn't 100. The fact that Brian Flores came out, I think it was yesterday's press conference or the day before, and said this is the first time Tua is experiencing training camp, a preseason, first time healthy. I was like, even Brian Flores is now saying it, because he wasn't, and you saw it. The hip, and is where you get the throwing motion. It's where the power comes from. It's not the arm, it's the hip motion. And you could see sometimes that he would just do a 3-step drop.
He probably has better sex now too, because he's got that hip motion.
You could see in the 3-step drop, he was supposed to do a 3-step drop and get the ball out. I think it was against the Chiefs, and he did like a little giddy up at the end, and he got the ball out, but it was late. These are the little things that now he, like you said, he has the reps, the constant reps with these wide receivers, with the tight end, with the offensive line, that all of a sudden they're like, oh, Tua's just, Tua picked his nose. Oh, I know, I'm running an in route now. I got this. Right. I know exactly what he's going to want me to do. Before I let you go, and before we get out of here, you're very, you said the season is very exciting. A lot of people think this is a hard schedule for us. Looking at the season right now, what is your expectations going in? We went 10 wins last year. We are way ahead of the rebuild curve.
I'm looking at 11 in the playoffs. 11.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there, because there's some hard games. Tampa Bay, Tennessee, Buffalo. Do you think we win week 2 against Buffalo?
They can. Yeah, they can. They got a shot. There's no doubt in my mind they have a shot. They almost beat them last year.
Thank you.
So it was kind of a game where they had an opportunity. They got a shot to beat anybody this year on the schedule. I don't play the schedule game because we have no idea where that team is going to be that week. Injuries change the face of the game sometimes. Also, some teams end up being better or worse than what we expected. When you try to forecast what's going on. Look, with Tannehill, I'm not worried about Tennessee, because if Miami has a secondary, then they can take, even with those receivers, they can do a number on Tanny. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about, things like that. I worry more about Derrick Henry. That's the guy you got to control, because you control that, you control the quarterback. That's been proven with that offense. That's the head of the snake. It's the running back, not the quarterback there. So, I have no doubt in my mind the Dolphins will be a really good team, and 11 wins for me is very realistic this year. They got great coaching, man. And I just told you a little while ago, Raekwon Davis, I expect guys to take another step under this regime. They improved last year from the year before. We watched them in the first season when they had nothing improve all the way to something by the end of the year. They were playing respectable football. Then they come back the second year and they double their wins. I'm not expecting them to go to 15 wins this year and gonna get 5 more, but I'm expecting them to improve because that's the track record that I've seen. And think about this. We haven't had a lot of Dolphin teams in the last 25 years that have a progression of 3 straight years.
Nope.
It's always like this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're watching this the entire time, and I think we're going to continue to watch that, and I think we're going to watch our boys go to the playoffs this year.
And you brought up a great point, because look at what 2008 we win the division, 2009 nothing, 2016 we get to the playoffs, 2017 nothing. Like you said, it's the up and down, up and down.
Because there's been crap coaches, crap GMs, all that kind of stuff. Now you have a front office. Now you have a GM, and Stephen Ross finally figured it out, man. And thanks to I'm happy for him because he deserves the success. He does everything that you possibly can need, but now he's finally like hired the football guy and got the hell out of the way. And that's probably the best thing these owners do. There's a reason why the Cowboys keep running into the ground and keep their wheels spinning in the mud. Jerry Jones. And finally this, last week he had the mea culpa about Jimmy Johnson, and it's like, duh, really? Yeah, but whatever, bro. I mean, it is what it is. Your ego gets in the way and you bury your own team.
Yeah, 100%. Big O, it's a pleasure having you on. I don't think I've laughed this hard in a very long time.
Appreciate it.
If people don't know who Big O is, where can they find you before you get out of here?
Well, Twitter, Big O Show. Easy to find me there. And then all of the updates for the show is there. We're on every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can subscribe on our YouTube channel, Big O Radio Show. Most of the platforms, it's all Big O Radio Show, except for my Twitter, Big O Show. But Big O Radio Show, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on at 10 a.m. every single day. We have Omar Kelly as one of our insiders. Kyle Krabs is one of our insiders. We talk plenty of football, obviously, because I live, eat, and breathe football. We do talk some of the other sports, obviously, locally here, but Dolphins are always my first love, and that's something that I'm really passionate about. Everybody that knows me knows how I am about it all. So find me there, and I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate the Dolphin Nation out there.
Definitely, yes, and I will link the YouTube channel. Be sure to go over, subscribe, and support Big O. He does some fantastic work, and he is hilarious.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Just keeping it real, brother. Just keeping it real.
Thanks for stopping by, bud.
I'm just happy for Tua. He's got the hip action now. He can, that's all. For him. We should all be satisfied.
Oh, thank you for stopping by, bud.
You got it. You be good. Thank you.
Again, can't thank Big O enough for giving me the time to come on and have this very, very good conversation. Was making me laugh, especially with the Tua hip thing. Absolutely making me laugh. Again, I will link the Big O's YouTube channel in the description. Go check him out. Hit that subscribe button. Go check him out. If you don't know who the Big O is, I'm pretty sure a good majority of Miami Dolphin fans know who the Big O is, the Big O Show, all that stuff. I live in Jersey, and I would listen to radio.com just to listen to him and listen to Dolphins radio with Channing Crowder and all those guys. So if I know who the Big O Show is, you should know who the Big O Show is. But be sure to go follow him, go check him out. But I wanted to give you this cool little, late night surprise, because tomorrow, again, more camp video tomorrow. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think of the Tua Pass. Let me know what you think of all the stuff that me and Big O talked about. But other than that, like usual, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with training camp day 3. Hopefully more good news. Hopefully no interceptions, more touchdowns, more long touchdowns. But like usual, guys, stay classy and fins up.